Welcome to another week of the 48 and 46 news. Now, if you're not up to date, this is the weekly news segment where I talk about the 48 and 46 group. And as always, we go 48, graduated, 46, but this time again, we don't have graduated. So remember, up here you can see what segment I'm on. So if you want to skip to 46, you can skip to 46. If you want to stay at 48, you know where exactly it is. So let's jump right into it. Now the first bit of 48 news actually involves everyone. And everyone meaning AKB48, Keyakizaka46, and NOGIZAKA46. And that news is that all three of them are in the Kouhaku this year. So if you remember last week I talked about the Kouhaku and how Keyakizaka46 was rumored to be there. Well, it's actually official now. For the 8 months they've been active, they're in the Kouhaku now. Now, NOGIZAKA46 took 2 years, and Keyakizaka46 now took less than a year to be in the Kouhaku, which is super good. I mean, they've been doing so well, and it's one of the groups that deserve it. Although, don't ask me why Baby Metal isn't on the list. But there's a twist this year. All of the 48 group is going, but under the AKB48 name, and only 48 of them are going. And on December 8th, the users actually vote to see which members get to be on Kouhaku. So if you want to see your favorite member going and all of Japan watching them, then be sure to vote. I'm not sure if it's available to all the world, but I'm pretty sure you guys know your ways around the internet. In fact, I'm curious to see what you guys will say. Leave down in the comments down below which 48 girl you want to see. I'll give you top 3 who you want to see in Kouhaku. Now next up is about an SKE48 member, and that's Suda Akari. Now in 2017, she's actually going to release a book, which actually reminds me of Sashihara Rino's book that she released a while back ago. And you English-speaking folks can actually read that thanks to the folks at NewSchoolKaidan. You can go over there and check the link in the description to see the English translation that they did. Next up is about the host of AKBingo. Now, if you follow the host of AKBingo on Twitter, you can see that he actually put up some pictures of him getting the Watanabe Mayu photobook. This one, to be specific, you can actually see the video I did on this. It's a little critique. You guys should check it out. So anyway, he's up to his old antics, and he's actually looking at the picture creepily on his Twitter, and he actually put it under his bed sheets, and you can actually see it creeping through, and it actually looks pretty good and pretty funny. And even Mayu liked the photo, so I'm guessing she didn't seem too offended by it or anything, which I think helps him be a good host and bring out the personalities from these girls, especially the newer ones that are in AKB48 and Team 8 that have been in the show recently. Now that's all for the 48 news. It might seem like a little bit, but that's because most of the news sources I get had transitioned over a little bit more 46 side. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but the 48 news in English isn't really there. It's like in little blogs that I have to go and find out to see where they are and everything. So the 46 side seems to be a little stronger in terms of news with English. So I'm going to have to hunt around for more 48 news. If you guys know any good links or articles that you want to show me to present to the weekly news, then please send it to me on Twitter. Now the first bit of 46 news is actually to do with Matsumura and Manatsu. And that news is that each of their subunits, which is the Sayoringo Army and Manatsu Respect Gundan, are going to perform an ending song for an anime movie. And the anime name is Suki Naru Sono Shunka no Kokuhaku Jikko Inkai. Or, in English, I've always liked you. Which is actually like this comedy romance kind of thing. And it's actually a sequel to a past movie. So I'm pretty sure that's out and you guys can watch that. I'm pretty sure it's the same title with different subtext to it. And Sayori will actually debut as a voice actress in this. Her character name will be named Kako, as well as other members are going to be performing as other characters. It'll be Manatsu, Kotoko, and Media who will be performing as Schoolgirl A, B, and C. So really, they're just background actors. And this is another cool thing for Nogizaka to do, because I feel like if they keep on doing these anime things, then they'll get more fans in the West or other countries, because anime is a big thing in other countries. So I feel like if they do a lot of more openings, then they could get the international fan base stronger. I mean, they did do the Naruto Shippuden opening, but I feel like you need more than that. Just that by itself, I mean, it's an iconic anime, but I feel like they need more in order to be more recognized. Because then hopefully they can come through anime conventions just like they did in Paris. They could do that with Anime Expo. They could do that with other conventions around the globe. So yeah, if they want international anime openings is the way to go. Because unless you're Karu Pamu Pamu, who didn't do one, then I feel like the way to go is anime openings to get more of a fan base, since that's a closer hobby than regular music is. Which would get me into a whole tangent with music and Japanese game shows and K-pop and everything, and how it relates to the AKB group and why people don't mix it together, and that's just a complicated thing. But anyway, back to the news. And that is, Saito Asuka is going to have her own photobook. Now, with her rising popularity, it's not surprising to see that she would get her own photobook. It was only a matter of time, and actually that time is in January. It's the end of January, January 27th. And the cover actually has been revealed. It sort of reminds me of the Nanase cover. This cover, it reminds me a lot of this cover. You can go watch the video I did on this as well. But yes, it gives that pure white kind of innocent look, except for that little distraction in the back, but we'll ignore that and say it's a pure white innocent image, which in my personal opinion, I won't get this unless the photography is like super stunning. It's not that I'm tired of the photo books, it's that Saito Asuka isn't really one I would get a photo book of. I understand why she's popular, but to me, I wouldn't get a photo book of her, if that makes sense. Next up is about Ikuta Erika. Now, even though I've heard this news before, it was pushed through all the news sources I use as a new news, so I guess I'll just report it. And that's that Ikuta Erika is in Les Miserables. I don't know how to pronounce it. It looks like miserable, but it's Miserables? Miserables? Anyway, that musical, she's actually being in it. She's performing in it. And that starts next year, May 25th to June 17th. In the press conference that just happened, Erika mentioned that she's been a fan of this musical since she was in elementary school. So she's excited/nervous about being in it, which I can imagine can be really nerve-wracking, looking at something you've liked for so long and actually getting to perform in it. It must be a crazy feeling that like you have to like live up to it, live up to what your imagination from you when you were younger was like. She also mentioned that she hopes all the seniors treat her well, and I just hope she does a good job. She's usually good in musicals, so I can only imagine the best. Now next up is actually something really cool, and that's that there's a new NOGIZAKA46 show. It was announced by Manatsu and Miona during a showroom, and it starts airing next month on TBS, and it's actually a cooking show, or they call it a gourmet show, but I'm pretty sure it's a cooking show. Now this kind of falls in line with the new Nogi Eigo that's coming out, where they're learning how to cook. Now, I'm not too sure if this is going to replace Nogi Eigo. I hope it doesn't. Or if it's just going to be something else that's monthly, or they might do this weekly. There's nothing really on whether it's monthly or weekly yet. I just know that it's going to start next month. And my one hope for this is either Erika or Sayuri go on the show and they just make a mess of things and get the teacher or someone teaches them mad. That'd be great, just watching all the mistakes they do and everything. Or even if they make it good, it turns out to be bad. And on to the next thing, the NOGIZAKA46 girls are actually going to be in Taiwan. It will be at this location, and they're actually going for the Asia Fashion Awards. On December 10th, Shiraishi Mai, Nishino Nanase, Saito Asuka, and Matsumura Sayuri are going to be there. So if you're in Taiwan and you like fashion or just want to see the Nogizaka girls, I recommend checking it out. And somewhere else the NOGIZAKA46 girls are going to be is at Universal Studios Japan. They're going to be there January 8th and 9th. Now this is going to be for a celebration of the 15th anniversary of Universal Studios Japan. And it's something exciting that's happening because AKB48 was there performing and now Nogizaka's performing there. And if you watch Nogizaka Tedoko, you know that Nishino said that she wanted to perform there one day and it's actually happening now. So I imagine how excited all the members are for this. But yes, if you're there in Japan January 8th through 9th, then I recommend going to check it out for sure. Now with Keyakizaka, their profile pictures have actually been updated. It's with the style that the cover art is for the new third single. And it has a really good feel to it. I like how Keyakizaka always doesn't have the, everyone is in the same background kind of thing. Everyone's a little bit different. I like that approach to it. Which reminds me that Nogizaka actually has to upgrade their profile pictures. Because, they pretty much have it with some of the photos I've seen. All they need to do is just update their sites. And another thing with Keyakizaka46 is that the rest of the music videos were released for the coupling songs in the third single, which you guys can check out at their YouTube channel if you are in an appropriate country, which America is not. But anyway, on to the last bit of news, and that's about Hiragana Keyaki. Now remember, Hiragana is the second gen / undergirls of the kanji Keyakizaka46, which is the original members. And that is that they will be performing their first TV debut, and the song they will be performing is Silent Majority. That will be on TBS November 27th, so be sure to check that out. I want to see how the Hiragana girls actually perform and see how they are. I know they have Neru in there, but I want to see how they do. I want to see them, doing that thing that they do that looked like something else, but you understand what I mean if you watch the music video for Silent Majority. So I'm excited for that since I've been getting recently more into Keyakizaka46. Thanks to all the subbers out there that are translating. You guys are doing a fantastic job. And that'll actually do it for the news this week. Be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with the news. And also I throw out these bi-weekly little segments that I do where I humiliate myself a little. And I'll start doing that next week, so be sure to subscribe and know when it comes out. Check out last week's video too if you haven't watched it. It's pretty cool. But for this video, thank you for watching.